what is actually anxiety, depression? Yeah. What is it actually helping us when we do the Qigong part? Because the Qigong, the breathing, the mental aspect, the mind exercising, can help to develop a totally strong awareness of your surrounding and of yourself. So you're practicing different kind of exercises where you have awareness of your breathing circles, where you know when to in and when to exhale. That is the first awareness during the Qigong exercise. You will actually give your blood system a flood of oxygen which can rise into the brain, and enough oxygen into the brain means also conscious thinking, because you feed your brain with that kind of nutrition.
Yeah, it's big impact, actually.
Yes, that is breathing. And then when you feel depression, anxiety, and all these kind of, I will say, mental disorders, you are aware these things are coming because you have the awareness. Anxiety is coming. You can feel that already. And when you feel that, that is already the starting point where you can work on your own. And you can conduct yourself to handle that kind of anxiety or depression or whatsoever.
You kind of stop it, like when it comes, like stop for a moment and like recognize this is it, like what can you do?
Because you have that awareness of your own, and that is very important. If you, for example, like me as a teacher, when I see something in my class that somebody doesn't work so well, that is the awareness of my surrounding. Because through my exercises, I become so fine and so, I will say, aware of my 360-degree surrounding, that I can feel that person doesn't feel very well. I can help him.
You can sense other people's as well. It's just kind of the focus goes away from yourself. I mean, that's one of the great things that actually helps with these mental disorders, is not to be overly focused on yourself. Like look outside of yourself to other people. I think that's a form of, selflessness in a way that helps.
And that you can develop through exercise and breathing. Exercise will give you the blood flow around your body, and breathing gives you the cleansing in your body system. So if you have a cleansing by in and exhaling, and exercise that your blood is flowing around your body, you will feed your body, you will serve your body with actually healthy, I will say, nutritions. And if you are healthy internally, you are also healthy externally by thinking consciously.
Yeah, I can tell my own experience, because even though I train a lot, and I have a certain a purpose in my life and mission, but it's not like I'm, immune to, of course, the work life and busy life. There's some anxiousness that comes, and especially if you live like in Dubai, there's constantly things happening around you, like the city, it never sleeps, everything just goes, it never stops. And I feel like in those moments, the breathing aspect became almost like a lifesaver for me, because I noticed even when in some like traffic, I was like agitated, just like, and I wasn't conscious, like you said, I wasn't conscious first of it. I was just like feeling the agitation and like, and this way, and only after I started to go back to the breathing, I started to practice more again, like the Qigong stuff, then was like, wow, I can actually stop this. I don't have to bring this reaction from my body, like, because you're just like as a kind of a slave to the environment, And once I learned to breathe, and it was like instantaneous to change. If I feel the agitation, I can start to breathe, and I can get the control back like very quickly. It's unbelievable, the sensation.
Yeah, the part is actually, or the most important part. Hello, Master. Yeah, is actually that we can, and we have, and we had already for thousands of years the ability to heal ourselves. But we are now in that position where most of the societies, they want to forget that. Because it is much more easier to go to the doctor. It is much more easier to get addicted to drugs.
Yeah, like, how did we forget
run away,
all
actually,
of it?
to run in a totally different direction. Actually, I would say to lose yourself in the labyrinth of absurdity. You take
Absurdity?
drugs, yeah, totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense. The problem is still there. Even you're drunk. Even you're high of I don't know what, the problem is still there. You didn't fix that.
Insanity, that's a good word for that, yeah, absurdity.
Absurdity. Yeah. It's absurd for me when I see that. It makes no any sense. And the thing is, yeah, that when you know how your body works and what kind of things your body need to function very well, when you know these things, then you will stop smoking automatically. You drink less, okay? And you avoid people when they're taking drugs, because you will see them then from a totally different angle. Somebody taking cocaine, you always can see clenching and biting his jaw until the back teeth are falling off. Okay. Or you see people, they're only drunk and high, and they're like running around like idiots. You know how it looks like if somebody is drunk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
they never see themselves. It's like only if you're sober and you see it from the outside, then it's when you really recognize it.
Yeah. That actually, if you understand how to use the tools of exercise and breathing and diet, if you know how to use these kind of tools, then you will build up your self-healing process and your awareness starts to grow.
Yeah.
The awareness,
I think
not
it's
only
not just
of your
any
own body,
exercise.
also of your surroundings.
Yeah.
If somebody is talking, if somebody is talking to you, you will develop that kind of ability to read that person, that he is talking the truth or he is lying.
You mean this perspective, like
You will have
because
some
you're like
kind
a mirror.
of power
Right.
that will
Because
also,
if you train and if you breathe and if you have a healthier lifestyle and body, then it has to be like some sort of how do you say, like polarity. Like if you face a person who is completely different from yourself, it will kind of repel it. Like if you have such a healthy lifestyle, you develop your mind, like you cannot anymore like stand the kind of influence that comes from a person who's trying to spread a lot of negativity or unhealthy lifestyle habits. I feel like that way also.
okay. You can see that very clearly. You can see a person, what we just said, yeah. When he's in the club, he only drinks water. But you can see that there are some people like me, when I go to club, I only have my water bottle in my hand, because I don't leave the bottle out of my hand. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I get it.
Somebody put some drops in and whatever, yeah. And I'm only listening and enjoying the music, But these kind of people, they're always the observers. How some people act, they're always standing there and checking all the others because they have already a totally point of view of all of them. Okay. These people exist, like me before when I was going to clubs, you know. And actually, when you also learn, to use these tools, breathing, exercise, and diet, when you know to use these tools, you will change yourself automatically. Your environment will also change because you will leave that kind of, I will say, dirt. You know, you will leave the dirt because you're seeking for some cleaning environment. You know,
Can I ask you about the standing? Like, how do you think, for example, the standing meditation as a stillness? Because I feel like it's such an integral part in Qigong practice. Like, how does that develop the mind to be able to like withstand this thing? Like, what is the effect of that on like really becoming sort of, how do you say, resistant to this kind of influences and stress? And
first, you need to know that we actually also already know, because I told you, it is not only standing still. Actually, you're not only standing still. There is a lot of things you need to be aware of. You need to be aware of your frame. You need to understand how to release the tension in your muscle system. You need to also understand how the energy works, when to inhale and when to exhale. You're actually a very busy person when you're standing still. It is not like
it's a real art.
Yeah, it's actually, you're busy because you are scanning yourself permanently. Permanently, you're scanning yourself that you do everything correct. So if somebody say, standing, that is standing meditation. The meditation part, or the part where you can actually have the feeling of floating during the standing. It is like you put yourself in a kind of comfort zone that appears after a period of time, that there is no you anymore.
It's such a deep focus, like the 64 from the Grand Circle, like the monkey Qigong. Like, because I remember doing that, and it's, even though the movements are like relatively simple, it's very slow paced, but the execution is so complex because of the coordination of the breathing, the dantian, and combining that with the movements and controlling everything is very, like, it's so deep, and it takes all your focus on that moment. Like, that's true. It's not just like emptiness or something.
No, it's not. You're a very busy person, because what is it actually? What means actual meditation? Meditation means actually you are enjoying a kind of situation where there is no thinking anymore. So when you always scan yourself, you're busy. You are busy for yourself. You scan yourself from up to down. You are aware. Now it starts again. You build the awareness of your own body, when to inhale, when to exhale, when to expand the diaphragm, when to contract the diaphragm, how to release the tension of your muscles, because then you're totally relaxed. Then you're really relaxed when you have no tension and no stress in your muscle system. And when you have that kind of heaviness only, the feeling, the heaviness on the sole of your foot, then you will reach that kind of meditative state where you actually feel the happiness, the joy in it. It's like walking in the park and observe the tree and the plants and I don't know, that is also a kind of meditation. You don't need to sit down in crossed legs to reach meditative state. That is totally
it's kind of the stereotype of it. I don't know if it's funny like that it's become.
And the other thing is, by sitting still and try to observe yourself, you will never find yourself. Okay? By not doing something, sitting still and try to see yourself, you will never see yourself and you will never find yourself. Because actually, life is movement. And you as a human being, you have the ability to be active. Activity, and you need to do things. Then you can see who you are by the achievements, what you have done in your life. It's not by sitting that you can see yourself. It's only by the activity and the movement, what you are doing in life, then you can measure yourself, who you really are, and you will find yourself, you will ground yourself. You will find the ground of yourself, because you know through activity, achievements, who you really are. And people will also measure you. They will not measure you how you looks like. They will measure you what have you done in life. That is the most important part. That people.
What about, is there something aspect also behind, like maybe not the achievements in a sense, or it is kind of like the thing, like there's sort of external achievement as you see and through which people recognize you, but maybe also you recognize yourself, like you said. I like that you said kind of busy with yourself, because if you're not, I talk about like the world kind of can be very busy and it can kind of affect you. But instead of being busy with the world, like be busy with yourself. That was, I think, an interesting wording. And it's kind of like through that, you realize only yourself, not by, watching the outside, but the inside and moving from there.
That is the most important, where people, when they want to know themselves and they want to see themselves, they think through sitting and contemplation. They can see themselves and they will know themselves. That is the wrong approach. For example, our Creator in heaven give us the command of we need to be active and we need to do something. And the human have the ability to create and build. That is human.
Yes.
It is the ability from all the other species, what is here running around, that we have creativity. And then we can build something. We can invent something, we can build something, we can make something into a shape. That is the human ability, which is given by the Creator. Okay? And our mission in life is to be active. The doing is the most important part in our life. You can't exist if you don't move. It's not possible. We need to be active. And then, when you're active, you learn the self-awareness. It will approach automatically. And if you understand that, then all the problems, all these kind of psychological issues and defects, they were solved by that. That's very easy.
You're right. The whole purpose, of what this kind of practice can bring forward, this sort of active meditation or movement is like you just discover yourself, I think, a lot deeper. And it's that discovery that then helps you to discover your purpose in the world. And when you find out that's when really the movement begins. Because like you said, we're born here to create things. And through your creations, you can then serve other people, you can serve the mankind. This I also feel, and it doesn't have to be something super majestic like you're some CEO necessarily at all. It can be something simple task where you're good at, like you finding your own skill to which you can then help. It can be very simple,
yes. That is also we need to think about that actually everything is in our hand. We only need to move. Okay? And all these kind of methods, if it is calisthenics, Pilates, yoga, Qigong, Kung Fu, and so on, these are only the tools. I would say, a lot of creative people. A lot of creative people, they in the ancient times or even in today's society, they are creative when they're by their own, when they live alone, okay? Because they can focus on themselves. They will have the calmness, they will have the time to be by themselves, and then they can create something. That is very beautiful. Most creations, I would say painters, mathematicians, and all these kind of people, they are actually very creative when they're by their own. Okay? And and when you're by your own, you're much more aware of yourself. The self-awareness,
I think this is the point of
is the most,
not just being alone.
to work on yourself.
Yeah, not just being alone, but having the ability to be alone. Because most people, they don't know even how to be alone. As soon as you're alone, you will go to, scroll the phone. You will eat something, watch Netflix. I was talking about this at some other point as well. It's just like being comfortable with the sort of emptiness, because in nature, the emptiness gets filled. And if you allow the emptiness to happen, you don't fill it with the distractions, it will get filled with something that comes from, I don't know, some higher wind will arrive. But that is the potential, where good things can arise. But you need to let it be empty for a moment and learn to be by yourself in there. It's very good, interesting that you mentioned this loneliness, because it really is the source in some ways.
And we don't need to go to the mountains, or to the temples to have this kind of environment. You only need to get rid of your technical advices at home. That's the only thing. No television at home. Yeah. That is also the thing. No distractions from the outside world. Okay? That is also the thing. And sometimes people need these kind of things. You can make yourself rule and say, okay, one day no telephone in my hand. Very easy. If you're a busy person, you're a businessman and so on, you will create your free time by yourself because you're a businessman. You make yourself one day absence, and that is also your right. Okay. And when you are actually in that kind of, I would say, stage or level where you can do that, that is already a big achievement. Very big achievement. Look, for example, you say you live in Dubai. I was there in Dubai for 2 days. I say, very good. What I can see is only the shopping malls. Okay. And I never saw so many foreigners in one place.
The tourist period is beginning, so a lot of people are coming in.
Caucasians, full of Caucasians and everything you can see in Dubai. And the competition, especially when you're in the fitness world, is huge. Everybody is good. And that is a lot of stress. The stress, the stress what you make yourself actually, because actually you don't need that.
It's true, yeah.
You don't need that.
Because you don't. If you are unique and you go towards your own things, you're not really competing. I don't even believe it's because it's such a difference sometimes what we, for example, offer, and even with Qigong or our training, it's not exactly your mainstream training, but like what you mentioned about the social media, getting rid of the distraction. I think that is so much related to what you mentioned, or what we talked in the start, like the anxiety, depression, because it comes so much from not the physical surrounding, but the virtual environment. Because that is where you do the comparison, where you see the grass is always greener on the other side, and all these people, they look so much better than me, or they have bigger muscles, or the social media is the one where the news come in, like, oh, we have a recession, oh, the pandemic, like it's the most like major way. And it was probably one of the most important things you said, like just having the one day without it. Because I noticed when I was skipping a tiny break from Instagram, like immediately the effects positively in my mind. Because you're just like not constantly like bombarded with this stuff. You need to be so careful with what you're ingesting.
The environment. The environment is also very important. But actually, you can create your own environment. If you want to. If you don't, you still have your telephone open 24 hours. Yeah. It's actually not closed anymore because that devices of smartphones, you can't switch them off. They're always on.
Really?
No? That's why when I sleep, I have my telephone on one room and my sleeping bedroom is separately. I don't have any Wi-Fi, electric device, telephone, and television in my sleeping rooms. No allowed. I want to sleep.
Oh, that's so perfect. Like,
yeah, that you can create. You're not attached to that telephone. Like there is your telephone, and there is the line which goes directly into your bloodstream, like this. Yeah. Actually, every time if somebody sends you a message, you immediately you look at that. But it is your decision. You want to answer or not. That is but you can see that because you have 24 hours your telephone nearly in your 50 centimeter radius.
Yeah.
It's not even a meter. I would say 50 centimeter radius. It's always...
Yeah, it's always this, like, you can grab it.
50 centimeter from every corner, you only do this. And, okay, but that is one thing. But our main point was how to develop the awareness that you can heal your own mentally state. All the psychological disorders, what people and in human society, what they need to face. How to heal yourself. That is our main point for today. And the main point is to build self-awareness. Build self-awareness through 3 tools. Diet, exercise, and breathing technique. And if you follow these kind of 3 tools, you will have the ability to heal yourself, because self-awareness will immediately tell you when anxiety arrives. You can feel that. You're aware of that. You know it is coming. How to deal with that.
I think that's a great recap. Like, build that self-awareness, healthy, strong body, and then change that gives you the possibility to change the environment, like we talk, whether it's the physical, like your friends, or it's the virtual, the social media, but it starts here, like you said, it is you being able to sense and your own self.
And the thing is, as a human being, we need to be active to see who we really are. Not by sitting in meditative posture. You can see and understand who you are. That is also the misunderstanding in the field of human being. I would say in human being. Whatever kind of religion, metaphysical border science approach, it's always depending on yourself. Okay? To understand through activity who you are, and to show yourself through your, I will say, achievements, to understand who and what is your purpose in life. Who are you?
That's it.
And what is the next goal you can achieve? And that is only through activity and not by sitting still and doing nothing. Be a lazy person doesn't makes you doesn't make you a Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, I will always say like that. The guy who makes so many goals in his life, it is not because of he's standing there and tick, there's a goal. You know, like no, it's not like that. Through activity. Yeah. Through activity and the combination of what I just said, the three tools. And that is for today.
Right.
I need to say. I hope that was already the answer for today. So then I can take my beauty sleep.
I think so. Like, thank you very much for the call. And as you heard the master, go out and move. Don't just stay still. Find yourself through movement.
But don't run around, what I just said, into the labyrinth of absurdity. Yeah, that is also that is only running away. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Good night. See you next time.
Good night. See you.